Okay, now our buttons are all working. Fire away, Russell.
Fire away. Okay. Well, guys, again, we were kind of hoping that we would have some non-members here, and this would be a good introduction for it. But as always, Fred's going to be taping this, so later on, if you do run across people, you can encourage them to check out the YouTube channel, and maybe this will inspire a few people to get going on a layout. So for me, there's two top things about having model railroading for a hobby. One is you have organizations like we belong to, and the other is we were fortunate to have two great railroad clubs in town. Of course, the K&I and the Southern Indiana. Both of those are NLRI members. The second thing, if you would, Ron, is you can have a small layout is what you have time for, space for, money for. Next, please. And let your kids, your grandkids, the kids down the street enjoy the train running around the Christmas tree for a couple of weeks, and then you put it away. Or we can go to the other extreme, and if you can get your HOA to let you build a structure in the backyard, you can have something a little bigger. This is Jim Petro's friend out in Reno, also named Jim. He's a retired UP engineer, and he's about our age, so this will never ever get close to being done, but they are doing ops and they're having a good time. Now, if we want to even bump it up one more notch, and if you have a bunch of money, oh yeah, you own your own construction company, have a bunch of land, you can build your layout so you can ride it around the yard there. This is up in Bloomington, and a number of us a few years ago actually went up there, and they do ops. Next one, please. And you actually, the people who own the locomotives are doing the running. So, but you can see up in the just kind of like forward of the engineer's head there, we spotted cars, we picked up cars, we did ops. It doesn't show up very well in the slide, but that is a signal bridge, and there were operating signals on it. So it was a fun day. Okay, next please. So let's go back to, our world, right? And you can have a very nice layout in a very small space. This is my former layout, and it was kind of copied after a 1986 article in Model Railroader, build this layout in a one-car garage. It was a Western theme, and if any of you are familiar with any of the layouts west of the Rockies, few have basements. So the trade-off is you have a two-car garage. The boss keeps her car in one stall. You build your layout in the other stall, and of course your car stays out, and you have to boom off the snow and all that stuff. But that's the price you pay for having a layout out west. So, so you can get a city scene, and having a view block on the next side, you can have a country scene. So it was a nice layout in a 14 by 20 foot area. So next. Okay, so again, for maybe people watching this later on, that if you'd like to get interested in building model railroads, you need to know a little bit about carpentry or know a guy. Now, the guy is, again, our organization, the K&I, the Southern Indiana, where you have a multitude of knowledgeable people that can help you through all phases of building the layout and beyond. Next. So you need to know a little bit about electrical or know a guy, right? Next. And you have to have a little bit of artistic thinking or there you go. All right, I love it. All right, now again, if you have terribly deep pockets, own your own company, next, you can get all these guys together, pay them, and help you build your layout. Now, this was, I'm afraid, it's been sold. This was a number of years ago. Jim and I were out. This is in Portland, Oregon. This is the owner. He did have sweat equity in it. But again, if you own your own company, you can say, hey, right-hand man, I'm going to be gone for 9 months. Just keep me informed, keep the company running. And he got all these. If you know the name Bragman for the molds and the chalks and everything, he got Bragman and his guy to do all the rock work there. Next. So you can see it was a huge layout. He had a barn type looking structure in his backyard. So lovely layout. It was just all sorts of neat things.
Low scale?
What's that?
Low scale?
No, ON30. ON30. Okay. No, I'm sorry. G. Yeah. Next, please. Okay, so again, nothing new for you guys. Anybody watching later on, 3 of the most popular scales: O gauge, which for the most part is going to be your Lionel, HO, and N far to the right. All of them have their pluses and minuses. It all depends. O obviously takes up a lot of room, kind of pricey. If you kind of cramp for space, the N scale is a great scale to have for your needs. Next. All right, so let's try to start building our layout, and you can go to any big box store, Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, and pick up any type of a 4x8 sheet, you name it. This was taken out of one of the compact soft cover books from long ago. They show it as 1/4-inch ply. Nowadays, I don't think you're going to get much good 1/4-inch ply. So I suggest 1/2-inch or thicker. If this is going to be a layout, maybe you're going to slide under the bed or something, extruded styrofoam, the blue board that they use in house construction, that works out to make it lighter. So again, you just go ahead and build your frame. We'll call this open grid construction, and you get started on it. Next. Now, again, the quarter inch would not work very well with this, but the half open grid again. But if we building it around the periphery of your room, some of mine is done this way, Fred's is done this way, Jim's done this way, where you go ahead and screw into the studs on the wall, and then you can either have some horizontal legs or diagonal legs like this. Next. Here's the beginning of Jim's layout, and you see that the aisleways are rather small, so it was a smart thing to do your diagonal legs, so when guys walk by, they're not kicking the legs. So all right, so here is happy Mr. Petro. So now we talked about open grid, and if you look at the foreground there, this is what's called L girder, and we take maybe could be a 1x4, 1x6, 1x8 if we're having a big span, putting a piece of 1x2 on the top, gluing it, screwing it, and now our joist can sit on that, and we can screw up from the 1x2 and keep those in place. Next. Here's the beginning of mine 100 years ago, so we have a little bit of both. So around the periphery of the wall is the open grid tied into the wall studs. The aisleways were not a problem there, so I used horizontal vertical legs, I'm sorry. And in the peninsula there, you can see it's all open grid, so you can have a combination of both. Next. Here's the beginning of Fred's layout, and we used open grid, but the back side of that, we tied up onto the studs of the wall there. And the one nice thing about the L-girder is that we can have a joist and we can put risers on the joist. So now we can have multiple levels on our layout. And obviously later on, next week probably, we'll put the scenery in there and all will be done. Next.
Notice the footing here underneath the leg on top of the carpet, which distributes the weight a little better. You're going over carpet.
Thank you. Gonna go, I tell you what, you guys know two different styles of tracks, sectional and flex. Next. All right, so of course, here's the real deal switch machine. If when the crews come to do any switching to a spur there, you see the handle at the far left. They unlock it, get permission from the dispatcher, and then they just throw that just like it was a hand throw switch. So next. So again, for our sectional track, we try to mimic that. Here's an Atlas turnout that has kind of sort of looks like that. Next. And so on the left is just a dummy model of the real switch machine that you saw. It does absolutely nothing but stand there and look semi-good. And to the right, then, if you'd like to hand throw a lot of your turnouts, and there's a manufacturer that has these that you can do it by hand, but it looks a little bit like the real deal. Next. All right, so let's get into the electrical. You guys know that Lionel's basically AC. Our M scale and HO are DC. We could take the battery out of a car, hook it up, and the train would run, but we couldn't control it. So we'll have a power pack pretty easy, plus and minus on either rail. The motor, the wheels pick that up from the rails to the motor, so we can control it forward and backward. All right. All right, now, as our layout grows, we need to kind of isolate certain sections, just like in a house where we have different circuit breakers for basically every room, that if we had a short and we didn't have these circuit breakers, we wouldn't know what room of the house to go looking what the problem is. Same thing on the layout. As your layout grows, probably a good idea to have certain sections and circuit breakers. So if we do get a short, and you guys know you'll never, ever get a short, that we can isolate what part of the layout it's in. Next. All right, so I fell into the pit of wanting signals. All the signals on the layout operate prototypically. You'll see right by the mile marker there, one of the, let's call them dummy switch machines. And so if we want to have all this magic, next one. And here's all the fun you'll have underneath it. The green motors there are the switch machines. A lot of the wiring is for the signals. Next. And of course, we need to control these. So if you don't want to do one of the manual controls, and you'll need to make up a panel. You have the LED lights indicating the track, that's the line that you want your train to run. Next. And in this day and age, just like we have so much ready to go food, you know, where you can go into Kroger or 7-Eleven, pick up a sandwich, rip it open, you have lunch. Same, there's manufacturers, you guys all know this is Woodland Scenics. This is on Rob Cooper's old layout. Rob, once he gets going on stuff, it's like, yeah, let's put a little more and a little bit more. But you can see for a price of having it all ready to go, they're illuminated, you have interiors, and actually it makes for a pretty nice scene. Next. Okay, so let's talk about backdrops. In the last few months, we've had a number of different presenters. One did painting, one had real pictures that you could use. So again, thanks to Stan and Bob over here, that the two of them had made some really nice scenes on the layout. My gosh. So here's what it was, and the next. And so we get Stan doing some backdrop painting, both Bob and Stan adding trees and so on. We had some line poles, our control boxes and signals, and we turned out with a pretty nice scene. Next. All right, so this is Syracuse. This is how it looked a long time ago, and both Stan and I have, they're not photos, but kind of drawings, or a hybrid, if you wish, that we bought. Two different companies. Next. So this is what it looks like, of course, after we've done we finished it, but it just so happens that the company that I bought my backdrops from seemed to fit in a whole lot better. What Stan bought seems to work very well on his layout. And those of you that went to his open house a few months ago, that you could see it really blends in well. Of course, we tried to go ahead and cut out it's a rectangular, they have their own sky, but of course it doesn't match the paint on my sky. So you have a few beers, start cutting out all the sky, and it blends in pretty nice. Next. Now, yeah, there with the lights that might not show up as well. This is another layout out in Reno that Jim took me to. Probably one of the best backdrops to layout that I have seen. He went out and took a photograph, went to whatever company had it blown up, yada, and you can just see right up here, the line, if you look real close, that's where the 3D goes to 1D. So you can have different methods, the painting, a real photograph, or an artist version to make your backdrops, and really, as Stan says, make the layout pop, really come to life. Next. Okay, just a real quickie here. Again, I think most everybody in here, their layouts are pretty well complete, but for the people watching at home, if you want to add on to your layout or start a new one, you need to do it to scale. All right. I have my 100-year-old from high school architect scale rule there. The picture is covering up, but what's on top is the half-inch to a foot scale. If you don't have one of those, a regular old ruler will do fine, and you use the, again, half-inch equals a foot, and it's very easy to see. The big thing is when you go to draw your radius, have a compass, all right? I'm sure Mike will back me up on this. I can't tell you how many times people have come in the shop. This is what I'd like to do. They have the footprint of the layout, usually a 4x8, spot on. But then they've made their curves just by hand, and it looks like it'd be great if it was a slot car track, but it's not going to do any good for a railroad. So do use a compass and make everything to scale, and I think you'll find that you can't fit as much on there as what you were thinking to begin with. Next. All right, so this, I can't, forgot what month, what year, this was in, again, Model Railroader. We're at the Tombach office. They built this on a 4x8. Oh, wow. They wanted to have a fall scene on one, a winter scene on the other. Next. All right, so they used the cookie cutter, but all the tracks are going to be right at the joist level, but they left the open part there, so they're not going to have a wood or fiberglass or anything backdrop, but what they're going to do is mound up a little hill and use that as your view block. Next. So this was the finished product, and I really, really like it. They had different angles on it, but none of it really shows the hill where all the fall scene is, but you know, you could not readily see across the other side. So next. All right, so as we saw in front of the first slide set, for your kids, putting up the Christmas tree, putting the train around the Christmas tree, like I said, my whatever they were, like 5 and 8, were just mesmerized by the train running around the tree. Of course, that no longer works for them. But for us as adults, we want, you know, after about 5 times around, we're ready for dinner or watch the football game or whatever. So we want to try to make it more interesting, and we'll try to make it into as much as realistic as what we possibly can, operational wise, or shorten it to do hops on our layout. So in this, if you think about it, the switcher is bringing back a coal load down below. It's going to go into the Jacobs Coal Company, and then, you know, later on, so it gives us something to do to leave a car, to pick up a car. Next. So, I know those two guys. As the layout gets bigger, we can do more ops, make it run more like a real railroad. So here's Stan and Bob. They're at a fellow model railroader in Charleston, West Virginia, and he's graciously had a number of us over there a number of times during the year to do ops. You see, Bob's thinking about what cars need to go where, but again, they're making up a train to go someplace. Okay, next. This was a lovely, lovely, huge layout in the Bay Area that I was fortunate to operate on. It was an all-day event. Unfortunately, the owner has passed away, and the layout is no more, which is why I hope for this, that when somebody watches it on YouTube, maybe later on, that it will inspire to where we can get new people interested in this. So when we're all gone, they'll take over and do something like this. Fun layout to operate on. By the way, if you saw that, this is a layout where every now and then it might come up. This is the guy that you saw, like Geez, 810 of the Digitrack boosters. That's this layout. So, all right, next. All right, and there's Fred and myself. This layout was up in the Cincinnati area where a bunch of us went up and operated. And of course, Fred knows what he's doing, and I'm wondering what in the heck is up. But we're trying to make up a train here, just like Stan and Bob were doing at the former layout. Next. All right, so again, to summarize that, if you only have time, the space to put up the train under the tree once a year and have the grandson or your son enjoy it.
Is that you and Fred?
Not one.
No, but it was a while ago. I had more here. Or if you want to build something more permanent to where you can have a bunch of guys over to operate it, that's great. So it's a fun hobby. I encourage more people to get into it. And it's so fun that these two guys really go crazy. And again, this is Jerry Elber's layout. We're so happy to have operated on a number of times. And unfortunately, the last 6 months, Jerry's passed away and this layout is new. So we got to keep the layouts going. So next. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed. I know all of you, this is a lot of it's nothing new to you guys, but at least maybe gave you some ideas. And I hope maybe people who watch this on YouTube later on will, maybe come to us and get interested in it. So thoughts, suggestions, questions? Okay, well, thank you. And I'll turn it over to Bob.